Well, good evening, folks, and thanks for joining us. We apologize for the technical difficulties, but we think we've got everything straightened out, and we're excited to be here with you presenting the BC Men's and Women's Curling Championships from Esquimalt Curling Club. I'm Julie Herndier. Alongside me is Melissa Saligo, and we're just working on making sure everything's ready to go. This evening, we are in the second end of the 7 o'clock evening draw featuring Bowles and Brown. Just a quick reminder that you can get your Daily 50/50 tickets at curlbc.ca/Daily 50/50. All funds raised support the curling in Greater Victoria. All right, it looks like we've wrapped up the second end, and we're just going to have a few minutes here for the teams to set a strategy and make a plan for the next end.
Oh, sorry. Maybe down. Just down. All right, guys. Maybe just give her
All right, Julie, I think we're finally getting organized.
Whew, it's been an exciting start.
How's your day been today?
It's been fantastic. I had an amazing ride over on the ferries from the mainland. I'm so thrilled to be here. It's one of my highlights every year to come and watch just the very best of British Columbia competing for the opportunity to represent their province at the Nationals. How about your day, Melissa?
It's been fantastic. I'm watching curling. What more could I ask for?
Right? So it looks like Brown went ahead and started with a short guard there, and the Bulls lead is going to try to make something happen around. Nice start. It's always a relief to get those few rocks under your belt and get acclimatized for the ice. You're never sure if the evening ice is going to be a little bit different.
Exactly. You always want to get that first end done as quick as possible and move on and, as you say, get ready for the rest of the game.
Oh, that's a nice shot.
All right, looking for the angle here. It looks like Julie, and just maybe a little bit too heavy.
Yeah, I think she wouldn't mind being just a little shy there. Looks like we're going to get right into it here, Melissa, with lots of rocks in play really early here.
Yeah, we've seen Team Brown play a lot, and they obviously like lots of rocks in play. But this young U21 team, I tell you, they have no fear.
I love it. It's my kind of curling right there. Thanks for bearing with us, folks. We're just trying to get our technical up and running here so we can get a clear view of the game. Looks to me like Corinne's looking just to come down and nestle one right up against that blue one and really set up the angles here.
There's one lonely blue. Well, I guess there's two lonely blues, but that one right in the button area is very lonely at the moment.
Would you say, Melissa, that at this point in the game, there's still a lot of communication about weight references, just trying to make sure that we have a really good idea of what the running surface is running like here on these early draws, taps?
Yeah, both of these teams have played a number of games already, and they've had their practice pre-game. But it's really important to continuously communicate what the ice is doing, what the weight is doing. If you've seen a different path here, there, everywhere, and really continue to keep that chatter up.
Yeah, it looks like that wasn't the outcome they were looking for there. It looked like it surprised them a little bit with the line. Looks like the call here is for Aaron to just come down and sit on that blue one.
Yeah, if they freeze right on their own blue one, and oh no, they're just throwing the guard, it looks like, but
yeah,
just might have overcurled ever so slightly.
Such a challenge as a sweeper when those ones are curling early and there's not much you can do about it.
Exactly. We've seen this ice all week. Well, all week. Feels like all week. It's been a couple of days. But it's curling a good 5.5 feet, thanks to ice technicians Mike Merklinger and Cody Hall have just done a tremendous job thus far with this ice and running about 15 and a bit, hog to hog.
Just a gorgeous surface. Absolutely what you hope for at a championship event like this. So I think Brown is still shot after that. So I think they're going to look to a little bit of a soft touch here coming down to that red one.
Yeah, Brown just wants to be very careful here, obviously, with those other red stones lying around in the rings. So they could throw another guard. They could throw maybe a freeze on the redstone as well. Sometimes the best defense is offense, trying to get another one in the ring. So we'll just see where they put this one.
Yeah, I really like this call. I think they've seen a few rocks down here now, and they're being a bit brave. I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, I like this too. Great shot. I'm not sure if Emily thinks maybe she can get both of those blue ones going and the red one in the middle will actually stick around.
Yeah, I think it looks like that the angles could be there for that, Melissa. She's certainly throwing the weight.
Oh, just needed to curl another inch.
Hmm.
So we'll definitely keep an eye around the arena tonight. Lots going on out there.
Sorry, Melissa, we just lost your audio there for a second. I missed that last comment.
Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me?
Looks like Team Brown is trying another soft shot in here just to make sure they're protecting that blue stone. Really nice shot by Corinne Brown. Looks like Bowles is going to have no choice but to try to run some in there and get something going. Of course, you'd always rather run in your own rock. Looks like we're going to play an angle here. Lots of encouragement from the third. She just runs it by. So I think Bowles won't be super thrilled with that outcome, but at least it's a red rock out there now for her to work with going forward here with her next shot. So I imagine the discussion, if we could hear it with Team Brown, would be whether we're worried about taking away a particular shot here. Yeah, it looks like they're going to remove that red one to take it out of play. Here we go. As a sweeper, I'm always a fan if I'm starting to hear a little bit of yes, no. It means the skipper's close. And Brown's done the job of getting that rock out of the way now, forcing Bowles to run something in. So again, the option would be to run one of those two rocks in, but of course you'd always rather run your own rock color in. It typically comes down to the angles, and we just saw this path. I think Bullis said she could get the angle on that and stick it. It could be a shot for two. Oh, it's a yes, no. It's a yes, no again. Means we're really close. Oh, a nice shot. Really solid outcome. Oh, the crowd likes it. Everybody's just taking a look. I think it looked to me like it was one for Bowles. We'll just wait for the officials to confirm.
Atta girl.
All right, so Bowles has had a chance to have their little between end meeting, form a plan for the end, and we're off to the races here. That's a well-placed rock. Beautifully buried around the just off center guard.
I'll try again and see if you can hear me, Julie.
I can hear you. Welcome back, Melissa.
Wow. Good to be back.
Oh, the sweeper's doing a great job of guiding that rock in. We're really going to get into it now with the Bulls' second being called to just draw another one in on top of those stones. It's really going to come down to angles again this end, I think.
All right. I think I'm back.
You're back. And boy,
And
am
I
I
can
glad.
even hear you too. That didn't take long. Here we go.
We are firing on all cylinders.
All right, Team Brown here trying to get an angle on either the top red stone that was just thrown or even on their own blue stone. The one thing you don't want to do, of course, Julie, is hit and roll off.
Absolutely. That was the perfect weight, I would say, for that shot. And may I say, for the folks at home, that it is such a delight that every time I see Melissa speaking, it's coming through my headset because we've had such an adventure making sure that everybody can hear Melissa's excellent game calling.
And again, we'll keep you apprised of what's happening on all the other sheets. We've got lots going on out there right now. And our other feature sheet being streamed with no commentary is Team Gushalak versus Team Ryan. And right now, Team Gushalak is leading Ryan 2-0.
Yeah, it looked like they had a pretty open end there to start over in that game. And then now, as we're getting going here, I've seen more and more rocks in play. So it looks like Team Brown is going to try to get some rocks really moving around here. We're seeing a little more weight than the last few shots. Looks like quite a good outcome for them there. Those blue rocks are really well placed now.
Thanks, Jen, for confirming that you can hear us both. We're happy with that.
Very thankful. So third Meredith Cole being called to rearrange things a little bit here.
Ooh, I think they do lose one of their own. And does that one roll behind a guard? I don't know if you can see. I think you can still see a piece of it. Pretty difficult shot, actually, to try and keep your shooter in a good spot there. Just quickly updating Julie, it is 2-1. Team Robillard over Team Kolomaya, way over in sheet A. We've got a 1-1 tie, De Jong and Pierce. And Grandy has a 2-0 lead over Jackson Bear. And as we said in our other feature sheet, Gushalak and Ryan now at 2-2.
So I think Brown got the outcome they were looking for there, and now they're sitting 3. So
yeah,
again,
great shot there. A little bit of trouble here for Team Bowls now. They need to find a way to at least make 2 of these go away if they can. There's not really any good spots to hide, so they got to try and blast these 2 out if they can. That's a lot of weight. That's how you do it.
oh,
Meredith Cole, she can really throw the heat.
she'll definitely be happy with that. This is a much nicer looking house for the skipper to be looking at.
Exactly. So Team Ryan with getting that 2 in the third end now. Gushalak, pretty open end again in the fourth just to start here.
On our feature sheet, would you say, Melissa, that Aaron's being called to come around that red guard out there?
Exactly, yeah. Try to tuck it if they can. They'd love to be setting 2, pretty much even if they can help it. They don't want this one to come too deep. And I do believe it's fully buried right on the tee line. But because it's maybe a foot deeper, is there a possibility of a cross-house double there?
Yeah, I think it looks like there is, Melissa. I feel like it was a lovely shot. I feel like the Brown team will be wishing it just maybe stopped like about a foot shorter.
So big shot here for Emily. She'd love to get the double, and if not, even the hit and roll would be fine too. Hit and roll right on top of the other bluestone that's buried behind that red guard.
Yeah, would you say she'd really want to make sure she does something with this shooter, Melissa, given how late we are in the end here? They really want to get something going.
I would, yeah, they would love to force Team Brown only to a single point here in this third end. I mean, giving up 2 with a 1-point lead is definitely not the end of the world, but if you could ever hold your opposition to a single, that would be a win. Oh, so close. Just need to keep on rolling there, but great shot.
Yeah, I admit I thought maybe they might throw a little more weight at that one. Yeah, I thought they might throw a little more weight just to try to get all the way over there, Melissa. I know it's just such a discussion on weight selection, but
I would agree. She almost needs Meredith Cole weight.
yeah.
So open hit here, and I believe that Corinne will try and roll one way or the other, preferably the same way that previous rock was. So trying to roll to the right as we look at it now. And not quite Julie, so I do believe the double is there again. But as you say, if she's going to play the double, she's got to throw enough weight to get 5-6 feet across the ice there, across the sheet.
Yeah, and as a skip, I think when you had the shot at the double the first time, it's pretty juicy to get a second crack at it. It's, sometimes your heart gets going a little bit, and so you really, would you imagine she's just trying to settle herself down, go through a pre-shot routine, and just try to really hit that broom and let the sweepers do the work?
Yeah, that's such a great point. The number one thing here, you don't want to get your juices going too much and overthrow this and miss by any means. So, really ensuring that you definitely get one, and if you can make it work, get the second point. Again, not throwing over a ton of weight.
My heart's pumping for them here. I'm so excited for them.
Trying hard to keep it straight here. Oh, better roll for sure. Oh, lovely shot. I think it's accessible, but great attempt there by Emily Bowles.
Oh, I think she must be so happy with that. Just a really, really great shot. Really pretty solid outcome. I think, honestly, almost the best she could do there with that roll the way it was going. Just a great shot.
So it's pretty open here for Corinne Brown. She's going to flirt a little bit maybe with that red guard because she does have to get to the nose of that red stone in order to avoid jamming it on her blue one or hitting her blue one out of the ring. So probably a nice soft hit, boardish weight here, I'm imagining.
An early call, the sweeping.
Well, this one's really curly, and they're working hard. Will they get it by? Oh, great brushing. What a shot.
All right, folks, so it's Julie Herrendier here alongside Melissa Saligo, enjoying some fantastic curling on a spicy Wednesday night here at Esquimalt Curling Club. The chance to watch some of the best women's and men's teams here in British Columbia. Would you say at this point, Melissa, teams are starting to look at the standings, or is it pretty early in the week for that? Where in this playoff round? Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, with this 8-team round robin for the women, you have 7 games, and you pretty much don't really want to fall below that 2 losses. 3, you're probably still on that edge. So I think most of the women have played 3 games minimum. So you're definitely starting to look at the standings at this point. You want to know who's ahead of you for sure, and who you have coming up in the rest of the games to play. So I can guarantee you everyone's looking at the standings. For the men, it's a little more straightforward. It's a 12-team triple knockout. So they pretty much know if you lose 3, you go home. So trying to get on a roll as best you can if you're on the men's side.
In terms of standings, we thought it'd be a helpful thing to share the standings with you all at home. So we have Team Grandy, who's at 2 wins and 0 losses. We have the Bowls team, who is at 2 wins and 1 loss. So as you mentioned, they're one of those teams that are already at 3 games. And in fact, this is their 4th showing out already in the week. Team Brown is at 2-0. Team Jackson Bear is at 2-1. Hefeli, you're going to help me. Did I get that pronunciation right, Melissa? Hefeli, thank you so much. Is at 2-2. Team Ryan is at 1-1.
Hefeli? I can't say. I always get it wrong, Julie.
We're going to get that right for the next game. We promise. For all the
Our
Heffley
producer,
fans.
Lindsay Shannon's going to help us out.
I love it. I love it. We'll keep going through the standings while I get some help here on the side, and then Reese Hansen is at 0-3, and Gushalak is at 0-3.
It's a big game for Gushalak against Team Ryan there. They really want to get a win on the board here. They, as you said, they've already got their 3 losses, so really trying to get a win tonight against the very strong Team Ryan.
Yeah, I would imagine an event like this, it'd be nice to go to bed with a win on the board, so that you're starting the next day, still with your own destiny in your own hands. Would you say, Melissa?
Exactly. Yeah, you don't want to hope for anyone else to have to lose for you to get in. That's for sure. So ensuring that you do get yourself on the board here. So back on our feature, we did have a miss early in the end. Mara Harris actually throwing her first one through the rings, now trying to freeze to this one that's back 12 or back 8, pardon me, and again a little bit heavy.
So Corinne's not going to worry about what's going on at all back there, and it looks like she's making a call just to come around that center guard, probably looking for top 4, top button type of situation. Sweepers are walking this in a little bit, kind of giving that same body language we see in curlers, trying to make the rock stop.
And I've tried it many times myself, Julie. It doesn't work. It really doesn't.
I missed the call here, Melissa. It looks like, though, they're trying to try and come right down to that blue rock that the brown team just placed.
Yep. I think they're trying to freeze. Remembering that Bulls does have hammer here. They'd love to get 2 back here in the 4th even end. Don't want to be heavy here. This one does have to curl. Looks like it's got to curl an extra little bit here. Yeah, that's one of those tick and roll offs. You could say tick off, really.
Well, I'll tell you who's not ticked off. Julie Herndier is not ticked off to have the best seat in the house here alongside Melissa Saligo.
So glad to hear you're going to be here for the week. We need some commentators throughout the week, okay?
We'll see. We'll see how we go tonight.
All right. Just peeking over to our other stream game, it does look like Team Gushalak picked up another pair, so they have a 4-2 lead now over Team Ryan. And a steal of 2 in the 3rd end for Team Grandy, so they have a 4-0 lead over Jackson Bear.
And our feature sheet, I think the brown team will be pretty happy with the outcome of that last shot. It was a nice little roll. It looks like Bowles is really going to go after it with some weight here.
Yeah, trying to play the run back, but doesn't quite accomplish that. So Brown line 3 in a total control position at the moment. We have 2 men's B quarterfinals going on. Quarterfinal in the B, Kolomaya versus Robillard and De Jong versus Pierce. We'll keep you posted as those games progress. So I think Team Brown here, Julie, would be very, very happy with a center line guard, and I think that's exactly what they're going to get.
Yeah, just a great shot there. And guards can be tough. You know, at this point in the game, of course, you should have a good idea of the weight. But, you know, as we've talked about, we're setting up a nice end here for Brown. You know, you get kind of excited. You tend to get a little ahead of yourself, and you got to think, like, really got to come slow out of the hack on this beautiful surface. As you mentioned, it's just so fast.
Looks like another run back attempt here, and I think if they, well, we'll see the outcome of this one, but they'd love to move something off the button area. They're in a heap of trouble at the moment. So there's a couple issues with that shot, Julie. Number one is they missed the two on the button, but number two is they actually have now rolled both of their redstones to kind of in the way of the path, the path to the button. So it'll be interesting to see here what Bowles is going to be able to do on their next shot.
Yeah, I'm imagining if Brown gets another guard up here, then the choices are, you know, are you running in your own rocks at this point, or, you know, then you're leaving the center guard up. That's pretty tough too. So we'll be interested to see what the call is here if Brown's able to put this guard back up.
Oh, great brushing there to try and get that one to curl right in the path of those two stones on the button. You know what? I'd almost be tempted to run to try and double. Like, I know she's playing the run back again, which is great, but maybe you want to actually try and double peel a red onto the blue guard and try and actually open one side or the other. It's a tough shot, but with only 3 red stones to go here, it's going to be very, very difficult for Team Bowles to score at the moment.
Yeah, I really like that call, Melissa. It's a call where you're looking ahead to the future shots for this end, not just this next shot.
Exactly.
And we have a pretty great looking crowd in the house tonight, and hopefully everybody's getting their hands on their daily 50/50 tickets. For those of you at home, you can get in on the action by going to curlbc./daily 50/50. The funds raised are going to support curling in the greater Victoria area. And I don't know about you, but I could use a couple bucks in the pocket tonight.
I hear you. All right, Corinne with her first one here in the fourth end, just looking to replace that center guard, I would imagine. And you just see, Julie, how slow she pushes out of the hack. That, again, a testament to the fantastic ice conditions here at the Archie Browning Center.
Absolutely. And again, it's reassuring as a thrower when you have to throw a guard. If those brooms are going down pretty early, you know that you're pretty close on the weight and you've left something for the sweepers to work with. It's just so tough when you let go of that rock and your sweepers just back right off. Just a lovely shot. Now it looks like...
Yeah, great job by the brushers. They wanted it to probably curl another inch or two, but I'm not sure if Emily can see enough of it to really do anything. For Team Brown, they definitely guarded the right side, the proper side.
Yeah, for those of you at home, we have the same view you do of the rocks, and I was just trying to tell if the body language of the Bulls team looked like maybe they were trying to figure out whether or not there's a port there to navigate. I don't know, Melissa. Looks like it might be just
maybe. The thing is, you have to throw weight to get through that port, Julie, and if you throw weight and don't see enough of the one in the rings, your shooter's rolling out, and that's not going to really help you that much. So I can see them eyeing up the long red run. So you have to think, if you're throwing the stone and you're hitting the red stone on the left-hand side, but the way that the blues are staggered, would it be of any advantage to actually hit the one on the right-hand side because of the way, because you're hitting it right into the middle of those two stones or onto the top where they both will go? I'm not sure, unless you like nut it, I'm not sure that this is the best way to do it. It is closer to the center line, which is why they probably elected to do it.
Yeah, I really like that point, Melissa, that if you're going to go for a run back like this, you might as well take the side where you could end up getting shot out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So we'll see how she does here. Trying the angle run back. Trying hard for line. Oh,
Oh,
darn, so close. Actually had a curl more. I'm not sure they were sweeping. They were sweeping for straight, I think.
yeah, that looked like this. Yeah, that looked the same to me, like that needed to come up a little more. And, sometimes, I think you can be imagining what the ice may have done in a previous game and be anticipating, maybe something's going to curl or make a move. And so you might get the brushers on there. And then if the ice doesn't quite react the way you thought it would, you kind of have that, oh, shoot, didn't do exactly what I thought it would moment.
Exactly. So I believe another guard here for Corinne Brown. She could, she could almost bring this top 8-foot, half to 3/4 buried, to be sitting 4. And I'm not sure, again, how Emily just still has the one run. But if you put this one in the way of that run, she'll have nothing. I think that's maybe what they're doing, trying to bring this one in. Yeah, I like this call a lot. Even on top of those two that are in the button would even be good as well. That's a phenomenal shot right there. Great call, great shot.
Yeah, just a really well-managed rock for sure, and really leaving Bulls in a tough position here.
There's a great look at it, Julie. You can't hit any of the blues, really. You could probably see maybe a third of the very top blue on the top 4. So it looks like she's going to try and draw and maybe try and cut them down.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. And I admire this call because I think it would be tempting to try that angle run back. But at this point in the game, it looks like they've done a little bit of, damage assessment, if you will.
I like that. Yeah, that's a great point. So cutting them down, you're only down 1 right now. If you can, cut them down to 1 and maybe 2 at the very most, you're still in great shape in this game.
So the nice thing about these draws is that, of course, with your pregame draw to the button, you have a really great idea.
Exactly. So really important to get some communication here from that front end. They thought it was heavy out of her hand, so they've left it almost halfway here. Can they drag it to the tee line? And I think it's a steal of 3.
Yeah, it looked to me like probably a minimum of 2, and we'll look to the indication to the officials here, Melissa. But it looked like, the sweeper's just really trying to drag that and get it there. But I think when you're going way out like that, maybe it just striking that big curl and needs to travel. We just needed to travel a little farther there for Bulls.
Yeah,
Great effort.
and like you pointed out earlier, they didn't want to jump on it right away because it was so close out of her hand. And they waited a little bit long, but just about a foot short, really. So we'll wait for the score just to confirm before we give it to you, but it will be Team Brown with a score of at least 2, we believe, and probably 3 by the looks of it.
So, Melissa, we were chatting between the last ends about how the men's side is a triple knockout and the women's side is a. When you are competing in an event, what's your preference?
I feel like that's a loaded question because I have a huge opinion on that. I am all for preparing our athletes for what is to come at the next level. So I'm all about the round robin and the page playoff. I believe that they, with all the extra teams now at the nationals, they play pools, but in their pools they do play round robin. So getting the maximum number of games, I think, is important at this event to prepare yourself for what's going to happen at the next one. And I can't quite convince the men of that yet. They're pretty happy with the triple, but maybe one day.
I love it.
So it does look like it was 3. So it is now 6-2, Team Brown leading Team Bowls here in the 5th end.
Now, what would you say would have been the discussion between ends for each of the teams, Melissa, in terms of the strategy going into this end? What would you say? First, how about we try Bowls first? What would we say Bowls would be thinking about in this end?
Well, I think Bulls, number one, they've been playing very well. They just didn't have the best end on this last one. So they need to find a way to at least score 2 here. They got to get back in this game as soon as possible. There's 6 ends left, but they're playing against a very, very tough Team Brown. So really try to find a way to score your deuce. Maybe take a little bit of risk, and then halfway through the end, if it's not going well, you might have to bail. But I really think they need to try and take some risks here. And I love this call that Emily's doing right now. They throw up the corner and are ignoring the one in the rings and are going to come right around their corner.
Yeah, I have. Team Brown, what do you think they're thinking about? You're up 6-2, going into the 5th. Are they going to change gears? They've been quite aggressive so far. Do you think we'll see a change, or do you think they're going to keep carrying on with the strategy that's gotten them this far?
That's a great question. I think that Team Brown, again, they've really changed over the last number of years. They really like rocks in play. They're very, very good at the offensive game. And I think they're probably feeling very comfortable with a 4-point lead, but I'm almost thinking they may want to go a little bit more. They might go a little bit more aggressive. They're throwing the easy shots right now, right? They're throwing the low percentage shots, and they're making their opposition for those difficult ones. So as long as they get their rocks in some decent places, I think they're going to continue down that same path. This one just coming up a little light. And does tick the guard.
So, of course, just as soon as we said they'd been making all their shots,
I apologize. That's probably my fault. Looks like both men's games are very tight right now. We've got a 3-3 tie, Robillard and Kolomaya. And it looks like a 3-2 lead for Team de Jong over Team Pierce. Team Jackson Bear made 2 in the last end, so they are now cut that lead in half, so they're up 4-2. And then we got the Speedy Gonzalez here over on sheet E, already in the 5th end break. And they have a 4-4 tie going on right now for Team Ryan and Team Gushalak, and wow, they're fast.
They are fast.
So it looks like it's peel time here for Team Brown. Oh, what a great shot.
That was not an easy spot to make a double peel in, Melissa. Just a very well executed shot.
I agree, and it was absolutely perfect. So it looks like Emily, now recognizing that she's in a little bit of trouble here, has decided to try and clean up that front area.
Yeah, would you say that we're at the point in the end now where, if we're going into this end, imagining, really going for our two, now we're maybe going to have to shift gears and go into a cleanup job here, make sure that the skip will have a shot. And looks like they did just that.
Yeah, great shot by Gabby Brissett. Wow. Got all three guards moving and exposes that one that's in the top 4 foot. So it does look like Corinne might be actually peeling that red stone, I believe, the red guard.
Do you think she ever would have considered guarding that blue one she's got in the rings, Melissa, or you think she's peeling all day on this call?
Well, I actually thought she would have maybe looked at guarding, but I guess with Aaron, I think that was Aaron's first stone.
Yeah, that's correct.
Sorry, I bailed on you there for a second.
That's okay, buddy.
Did I miss anything?
Well, it looks like Meredith is going to be playing a nice soft hit and roll here. They're throwing a little more weight than I anticipated, and I had a hard time seeing the call, but it looked like, they were trying to get around over that guard and push that blue one back to the rings for something to work with a little later.
Oh. Yeah, unfortunately, their shooter rolls out and the blue one does stay in the rings. It is behind the tee line. That's a little bit of an advantage. So now Corinne looking to remove that red stone that got jammed a couple of rocks ago. Chelsea Team Bowls is playing out of the Victoria Curling Club. They all go to, most of them go to University of Victoria.
What a fantastic opportunity to play at a championship in your hometown. Hey, Melissa?
Oh, absolutely. And Emily, I don't know if Emily's going to college or she's just working, but what's exciting about that is I will say is Mara and Meredith and Gabby actually just qualified for the U Sport National Championships by coming second, got the silver medal at Canada West just this past weekend.
Oh, fantastic. Congratulations. What an awesome opportunity for those young women.
And what's even kind of crazier is they play with Emily's sister, older sister, Liz Bowles, who's also on the Canada West team. And Melissa plays with Stephanie Jackson-Bear here. So, yeah, small world. Trying to freeze, I think, here.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think Meredith trying to make good on that tap earlier with her last shot. I think she'd move that blue one to the back there. So nice she gets an opportunity to come down there, see if they can get something going here.
Yeah, what a great shot there with that freeze. So I think Corinne might actually try to throw some heat here and will likely try and pick it out if she can. It's okay if she gets her back one as well. She'll be okay with that.
Yeah, at this point, probably the fewer rocks, the better back there. Hey, Melissa, because at this point, any rocks behind the tee line are just helping out.
Yeah, I agree. So we'll see how hard Corinne Brown can throw it.
So I think she struck that a little earlier than she intended to, and then rolled to the open side.
Yeah, I agree. So chance here now for Emily to hit and lie too. The key here, though, is to ensure she doesn't set up any kind of double here for Corinne. So maybe trying to roll a little bit to the outside towards the corner guard, perhaps.
And I'm sure they're pretty excited about this opportunity to be sitting two after the shot, Melissa, given where we were until that great, I think, double peel it was that was made earlier in the end.
Exactly. So here we go, Emily Bowles with her first one in this fifth end. There will be a 5-minute break after the fifth end. Oh, great shot. Got the double just for fun.
I guess this is the wrong type of event to look for the double balloons, Melissa.
It is indeed. I like those events.
I also like those events.
We should go on one together.
We should. I accept.
Okay.
You heard it here, folks. Melissa committed to curling in a ladies' bonspiel
Nice.
with Jules.
Nice. I heard the Maple Ridge one's pretty good. Is that true?
Just fabulous. It is just fabulous.
Get to wear your pajamas.
Yep.
Nice. All right, Corinne Brown. Probably just maybe trying to get her blue stone over towards the other red one. No double possibility here at all. But for Corinne with a 3-point lead, or pardon me, a 4-point lead, wants to ensure that she's only giving up a maximum of 2 here. And that is a great shot.
What do you imagine Emily's thinking about as she comes down? You know, she's got an open hit for 2. They've worked the whole end to be setting this up. Melissa, what do you imagine is going through her mind? It's an open hit. What do you think she's thinking about?
I think she's going to go through her process that she always goes through, and she's going to throw a nice soft weight and give it to her brushers. That's the number one thing. You don't really want to overthrow it here. She's given herself a few inches of ice, so I'm guessing it's a nice control weight and allowing the brushers just to help her make this shot perfect. They haven't touched it yet. There we go. You like to hear clinging. It's a little more weight than I thought, actually, Jules, but
Yeah.
it is still controllable. Wonderful.
Nice shot. Well,
So they are going to take their 5-minute break. And Jules, we can take a 5-minute break if we want as well.
I love it. Well, folks, we will be back. Again, it's Melissa Sligo and Julia Herrendier coming to you from the BC Men's and Women's Curling Championships. We're going to take a 5th break, and we'll be right back.
Third end. Yes. See. Spot. Last week didn't really. Yeah, but I was expecting Lake Girl and it didn't finish wrong. Was it? Want to get rid of it? Okay. Just manage it. Just let him know you're doing it.
All right, folks, and we're back.
All right, Julie, we've got a pretty close game here, but Team Bulls has some work to do.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what the plan is going to be from Team Bulls here.
Well, unfortunately, to start this sixth, then they make their first little mistake. They wanted a center guard, and that one does slip into the rings.
Brown not wasting any time, going to go after that rock in the house. Oh, and a really nice shot with the roll to the open side. So Emily's going to give Mara another shot at the center guard here.
Yeah, and you know, we've talked about it a couple of times in previous broadcasts, Julie, where after that fifth end break where they use the mop up and down, sometimes it just feels a little bit slicker. They get kind of rid of the frost that maybe have been out there and stuff. So you have to just think about that when you're throwing in the sixth end. Maybe just take an extra half a second off your rock, on your rock, off your rock, off. Oh, add it to it.
I think either one, as long as you're committed. No, just kidding. But would you say, Melissa, that it's an idea for the team to have a bit of a cue? Like, what would be? We hear it talked about so much about that sixth end being a little faster. What would you offer as advice for a team on how to manage that? So it's not just the lead's responsibility to handle that.
I would actually say, like a lot of teams talk about using the zone 1, 2, 3 for guards. So if you know you want a zone 3, heading into the 6, I would say, why don't we try for zone 2? And if you throw that little extra, it ends up where it's supposed to be. So just little cues like that, just a reminder. But I agree with you. It's not just the lead's responsibility. Definitely a team conversation.
I love that.
For those of you watching over on Sheet E, it's Team Ryan and Team Gushalak. It's our other feature game. No commentary, but they are having a battle out there right now. And there's about 5 or 6 rocks right in the button and forefoot area. I'm not sure who's shot at the moment, but we'll keep you posted here.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell from this angle. It looks like it could be blue, but I wouldn't bet my curling shoes on it. We were trying to get a little indication from the spectators next to the sheet as to who's sitting shot, but it doesn't seem like a conclusive answer. So we're going to go with we're not sure.
So right now over on our sheet here, Team Brown looking very, very strong, very solid, and really not leaving bowls a lot here. So they're trying to, being down 2 without hammer, they're throwing hits, which you'd love to be able to play some tap backs and stuff, but you definitely don't want to give up a huge end here. So really trying to find a way to eliminate some of these blue stones at the moment.
Absolutely, and I imagine trying to do something with your shooter just to make the most of every shot at this point, Melissa.
Yeah, great point. And unfortunately for that one, that would have been perfect, hitting that one and rolling towards the center. But it does stay wide open here for Team Brown. So just peeking over to sheet E here, it's very close. There's 2 blues and 1 red all touching the button, and definitely cannot tell which one is shot. So Kristen Ryan, I believe, is going down to throw her last stone without hammer here in the 6th end.
With this ice, it looks like maybe they're trying something of a guard, would you say, Melissa?
I would think so. I would think so. And over on our sheet, nice shot there by Jen. So it looks like.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Melissa.
I was just going to say, I'm not sure she's going to play the double. It's almost too high now to play the hit and roll, and it's almost edge on edge. So maybe looking at the double?
Yeah, I think so too. And again, trying to hopefully get something out of that shooter to set up the next shot.
You got to imagine this Bulls team probably a little bit tired. They did play 6 or 7 games, I think, on the weekend, just getting home at 2 in the morning on Sunday night, Monday morning, to be here for practice first thing in the morning to get this week started.
Oh yeah, I can only imagine a run like that on the weekend and then coming into a big event like this. What kinds of things do you imagine they would be doing to try to manage their energy this week, Melissa, to have, there's just not really, you couldn't even say for recovery, but just to maybe keep things going and keep the energy high, because you're going to need more and more going into the weekend here.
Exactly. So they're going to use every spare minute that they have that they're not at this ice rink to rest. As you said, it's not about recovery right now. It's about resting and then trying to make sure that they have enough energy to come back for the next game and taking it one game at a time, not focusing on what you have to do, how many you have to play, all those kinds of things. And making sure that you're putting the right fuel in your body, right? Making sure that you know exactly what you need to do to bring your best every single game. Absolutely.
And athletes these days are so much more in tune with things like nutrition and rest, and it's just so powerful what a difference sleep and the right food can make for an athlete.
Exactly. Yeah, such a good point. I was telling someone yesterday, instead of when we competed, it might have been a 6 or 7 month sport, and now it's like 11, 12 month sport. Like, it is full on every month of the year. You have to work so hard in the off season to be prepared for the in season.
Absolutely. Bulls working hard, get that blue rock out the back there. pretty good outcome, I think, there for what they were facing. Looks like maybe blue is still shot. I don't know. Yeah, from this. Oh yeah, from this monitor, it looks like blue is definitely shot.
Yeah, I think they're sitting second, third, and maybe fifth.
Yeah, I would say so.
So a hit here for Aaron Pincott.
Do you imagine she's trying to roll that shooter anywhere in particular, Melissa?
I think she'd be okay with rolling it a little bit to the outside. Just wants to make sure it stays for second shot. That's number one. So whether that's on the nose or a little to the outside, there we go. Does take away any possibility of a double. So they're line 2 for sure, and I think 3, but again, hard to tell from this perspective.
Yeah, for what it's worth, I'd say it's 3 from my lens also.
Just giving you a quick update here. It looks like Team Kolomaya, I believe, is up 6-3 over Team Robillard. My eyes are so bad. So Team DeYoung and Pierce are tied at 3. 7-2 lead for for Grandy over Jackson Bear. And I don't know who scored in that last end in the 6th end of Gushalat versus Ryan, but Ryan does look like they're going first. So they at least got one. There were 2 blue ones in there, Julie, so they definitely got one.
Yeah, I didn't get to see the outcome of the end of that end on that sheet. Of course, one of the great benefits of being here live is there are so many sheets of action to watch, but it means you miss a few things here and there.
Oh, did not get 2 going, only managed to get 1 out of the rings here. So now Brown still line 2.
And some discussion now over whether or not they chase that red rock to bring those other 2 that are in the rings into play, Melissa. Ooh, this is juicy right here.
I agree. And, you know, Julie, it's Corinne's first. Would you ever save this for your last? But really, where do you go? You could go maybe left-hand side of the house to sit your third shot even with the other 2.
Yeah, I would be tempted to go the other side, I have to say, and maybe leave this for my last one if it's there,
Yeah.
although, it may not be. It looked to me like Aaron was maybe indicating that they're going for the nose.
Okay.
To try to keep it out there, and if you lose that back blue one, maybe it's not the worst, but I thought it looked like she was indicating nose, although that could have been a weight call, because I'm not familiar with the Brown team's weight
there we
calls.
go. We're throwing lots of weight at this one, just trying to pick it out. Avoid the back one. What a shot. Wow. They are lying now 5, I believe. Team Brown in complete control of this end.
Looks like Team Bowles is going to call in some help, calling a timeout.
And the coach for Team Bowles is Logan Mirren. Logan plays for, oh my goodness, Logan plays for, I'm so sorry, Logan. My brain is just lost. Team Dang. I apologize, Logan. You didn't have your white and green on, so I couldn't remember who you played for.
I feel like Logan will understand. I think it's okay to check notes. I feel like Logan will understand. I'm going to check with him later.
Okay, thank you. And of course, the coach of Team Brown is Jim Cotter. Jim's been with the team now for a couple of years, done a great job with this team.
And Melissa, I understand that different teams handle timeouts in different ways with their coaches. Can you chat a little bit about that, or what that looks like?
For sure, and I've noticed that with the younger teams still, you can see Logan, well, we can see Logan he comes out and he pretty much gives his opinion. And so, but I've seen with what happens with other teams is you want, as a coach, for me personally, I want my team to have two alternatives by the time I get there. So they're going to tell me what their two alternatives are, and I'm going to give it my opinion on which I think is the best of the two. So I'm not the one that's coming out and forcing my shot on them. I want them to empower them to make that decision, whether it's a men's, women's, or a young team, junior team.
I love that. Now, talk to me a little bit about if you go out and there's a discussion, a shot has been selected, the timeout is over, the players go out, and then sometimes you see there's more discussion still and the shot changes. What are your thoughts on that, from a coach's perspective?
That just tells me that everyone's not buying in. And the thing about that, Julie, is number one is that you have to buy in. Especially if the person who's throwing the shot, like say it's the skip, if they have bought in to throw that shot, you as a member of that team buy in, right? You may not think it's the best shot, but you're not throwing it. The person that's throwing it, that's the most important. They need to be all in, and if they're all in, you be all in.
I love that.
So they're trying to freeze here, Julie, right on top of the one that's sitting in the 4-foot. And if they can just lock it on there, which it's very close, they may be able to keep Team Brown from getting a handful here. Can Team Brown get that one out, pick it out? I think there's about 2 inches, I would say. Maybe just bumped it 2 inches too far.
Yeah, I think Bulls will be just a tad disappointed with that bit of space because, of course, it opens the door for Corinne Brown to try to get that out of there.
All right, so it is the final shot here for Corinne Brown in the 6th end. Just had to double check myself, 6th end. And she is going to try and pick out this redstone, and if she avoids the one in the 4-foot, they could potentially get 5. But even if she hits the one in the 4-foot, I think, Julie, they can still get 4. So here we go. Corinne Brown trying to pick out that red stone. Just hit it too thick. So she does still get 2, and 2 more on the board for Team Brown.
So maybe a bit of an opportunity missed for Team Brown to really take control of this game, and maybe a sigh of relief even from the Bulls team. Typically you wouldn't be too happy to only give up 2, but given what they were looking at, maybe a bit of a relief. And now Bulls is going to regroup and set a plan here to really try to set up their deuce, if not a 3 in this end.
Exactly. Really great points. So 4 ends to go here. Team Brown needs to find a way to at least get 2 more on the board. Try and climb back in here as soon as possible.
A big shot made on sheet B. Looks like it was Steph Jackson-Bayer, although I'm not sure. Looks like maybe she made a big takeout there. Would you say
She made
a
double.
Points? Oh,
a double
yeah.
of 2 on the button to at least get 1. They were looking to see if she got the second, but we'll let you know what happened there. 1 for sure. Team Jackson-Bayer is down 7-2 right now, but does manage to score. Oh, it looks like it was only 1. I just saw her point to the official.
And of course, Steph Jackson is from the area, Jackson-Bayer that is, and so you heard a little bit of cowbell in the crowd cheering her on, trying to keep that team's energy high here going into the next end. So Bulls is starting us off here with a corner guard. It looks like a tight corner guard. We're so glad you've joined us, folks. Of course, we're at the BC Men's and Women's Curling Championships, the provincial championships where these teams are playing for the honor to represent their province at their respective nationals. I'm Julie Herndier alongside Melissa Saligo. Pretty thrilled to be here. came to watch a game, and it turned out that Melissa decided she could use some help in the booth, so here we are tonight.
Couldn't have picked a better person, Jules.
Aw, thanks, friend.
Been a blast. I'm enjoying myself. And you're way better looking than Will. Will's not here, right? You didn't hear
That's
that.
nice of you to say. Yeah, well, hopefully he's not
His
listening.
mom might have heard that, though. Sorry, Marilyn.
So looking hopeful here in our featured game. Bowles has got a couple corner guards to work with up there, and it looks like she's going to the other side now.
Yeah, and I think this is good. She wants to get a couple of guards because she knows what's going to happen here in a couple of rocks is Team Brown's going to start peeling. So she wants to ensure that she at least has 2 guards way far away from each other so there's no possibility of trying to get a double peel.
Absolutely, because we have certainly seen that Team Brown has that double peel in their wheelhouse, in their toolkit. We saw a fantastic corner guard double peel, I think, a couple ends ago. So really wise of Bowles to be trying to spread them out.
So just trying to draw around that center guard, I think. Whoops, helps if you can see the right end here. Apologies.
Better late than never, I say.
Didn't really want to slip behind the tee line there, so a little bit of a mistake, but
Well, bit of a surprise here, Melissa, I think. Do you figure that Emily's just feeling like this rock is just a little too close to the center line for her taste?
this actually surprises me, Julie. You know, if you're down 4 right now and you need all the guards you can get, even if they happen to be near the center. So I'm not really sure why they would have done that. I think they, you know, instead of, I don't want to use this term, but I can't think of another word at the moment. Instead of wasting a rock sort of on peel, why not try and either come around one of your corners that you threw there for a reason, or even freeze to the one that slipped back 4 foot. So just a little bit curious on that shot there, or that shot call, pardon me, by Emily.
So Corinne not wasting any time now that she is able to, walking straight up and peeling off what I would say is, quote unquote, the best guard that Bowles has up there, tight to the rings, close to the center line. So yeah, a great job there by Corinne Brown.
Exactly, and that's why I go back to the shot previously by Emily. You know that's going to happen. You know that Corinne is going to peel off guards. So why would you want to do that too? And that's just a little bit of curiosity. But now, is she hitting or throwing?
I think so. It looks like I think they called a bit of a hit and roll here, Melissa. It looks like she's trying to make use of those corner guards.
So
although.
So it seems she's changed tactics a bit. Instead of trying to draw around guards, put up guard and trying to draw around, she's trying more of the hit and roll game. But it's really hard when you're down 4 points to play any hits. If you play hits, that usually means you're winning.
Yeah, I can't help but wonder if she's casting her mind back to the last few ends when Corinne Brown has had the hammer and really managed to convert the hammer into multiple points. So perhaps Emily was feeling a little bit like she was not going to get caught out again with lots of Team Brown rocks in play.
Yeah, and that's a great point. I just think that, you know, maybe moving things around, tapping things back, even ignoring that one that was back 4 and try and draw around the 2 corners that you do have there. And, you know, just you've got to find a way to get some rocks in play. Right now, you're really not establishing an end here. You're sort of just protecting yourself.
So Erin Pincott being called to make a hit and roll here, it looks like. She hits and sticks there. Nice shot. Corinne Brown is sitting 2, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so, yes.
a funny story, Melissa, when we talk about having rocks in play when you're down. A lifetime ago, when I was a junior curler at an event, and we were down quite a few points, and our coach called a timeout and marched out on the ice and said, "We need rocks in play." So when the other team put a rock in play, I hit it, so I had a rock in play. And then they hit it, and then I hit their rock again. And our coach burned down another timeout to come straight out and say, "I told you I wanted rocks in play." And we literally did not realize that she meant we should be freezing,
Multiple rocks?
tapping. That's it. We thought we were doing the right thing because we had one rock in play. Now, in my defense, I think I was around 12, but those are the lessons that stuck with me for the
That's a
entire
good one.
duration.
That is a good one.
These are the moments that make up a curling career, hey?
Absolutely. Oh, I love that. That's great.
We are putting rocks in play. Anyway, moving on.
You didn't say how many.
That's right.
You were not clear, coach. So Aaron Pincott trying to hit and stick on that one does roll out. So I'd really like to see Emily try and draw around those two corners. And I think that's what she's going to do.
Yeah, and a great opportunity here for Bulls to get something going.
Looks like somebody in the chat liked your story.
Phew!
Coach Kelly.
Bit of a risk as a new girl telling a personal story, so I appreciate the support. Thanks, everybody.
All right, so the sweepers have not touched this one at all, unfortunately. That does mean it's heavy. Meredith Cole would love to make this one stop in the rings, but I think it's going to sneak right out the back.
And I feel for her because that is one of those rocks where you're just hoping something slows it down, right? As we talked about earlier, the sweepers are using their body language to slow it down, and the thrower is speaking to it, please stop, please stop. So I really feel for Meredith in that moment because, of course, you've got the corner guards. It's an opportunity to get something going for your skip. So, yeah, I feel for her in that moment, but we'll see now here. It looks like Corinne Brown is going to throw another one in the rings. Maybe it looks like she's going to go up top, try to line them up. What do you think, Melissa? What do you think the call is here?
I think she could go anywhere here, top 12, top 8. I mean, obviously, the deeper it is, the easier it would be to play the double. But if you're top 12, I wonder, does that open up the freeze to the one in the back of the ring? So just being careful. I would probably put this in at least full 8.
Yeah, I agree. I'll be really excited to see what Bulls does if Corinne is not full 8 with this. So sweepers guiding it down. Oh, and the sweepers are backing right off now.
Yeah, this one again, trying to use that body language, as you said, Jules.
Yes, the tiptoe sometimes is effective with trying to slow the rock down. So we'll be really interested to see here. We've really got something going here for Emily and Meredith to think about.
So it looks like she's going to throw hit weight again. And honestly, I think at this point, if you're going to throw a hit, play the double, try and blank the end, take hammer into 8. Then you get your 2 hammers to 1 and see if you can find a way to score 2, maybe even 3, force your opposition to 1, and then you're still in this game.
Yeah, it really comes down to that planning ahead and looking ahead to your game plan. You know, teams, I think I understand teams would typically go into a game understanding would they rather have 2 hammers to 1 in those last ends, or they rather have the hammer in the last end. So a little bit of planning probably involved here for Bulls.
Just peeking over on sheet E, and thanks, or Lindsay, our producer here, has updated us. It does look like it was a steal of 1 for Team Ryan, who now takes a 6-4 lead over Team Gushklak heading into the 8th end. And great shot there by Emily, does make the double. So she will be looking for a blank here in the 7th end.
Just a fantastic shot and a nice confidence builder at this stage in the game, I would imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. Good point.
Now, do you think Corinne's just going to nose this, Melissa, or where is she going to try to put it to try to make the difficult as hard as possible for Emily?
She might want to move it around a little bit, not leave her the same shot. So even if she rolls one way or the other, just trying to make it a little bit, just a different path. Not more difficult, but just a different path that Emily would have to look at. Just over in sheet A, just updating you, Team Robillard does get 2. And so they are now down 6-5. Team Kolomaya with the hammer. You can see Aaron trying to get this one to roll somewhere. What a great shot by Corinne Brown. Lovely.
Just a really well managed rock there. What do you imagine is the discussion going on between Meredith and Emily at this point, Melissa?
Well, I'm hoping it's a discussion about blanking.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a discussion of what weight to throw, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can see enough of it to actually throw normal weight and hit it and roll out. I mean, we're not right behind the sheet by any means, but we have the same view as you do, as Julie said earlier. So it does look like you can see 3/4 of it.
Yeah, I agree, which it surprised me a little bit that there was a discussion, but it looks to me like it was just about weight all along. I wondered if maybe they were considering, if they thought it was a little too buried, maybe if they thought maybe we take our 1 versus, risking cracking on the guard and giving up yet another point. But I'm excited we can make good on our double.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what the conversation was, but I really believe you can see enough of it to pick it out and get rid of your shooter as well. But they are going hard on this, which means it's curling. And exactly as you said, Julie, I won't blame you on that one, but you did call it.
I take full responsibility. I apologized deeply to the Bulls team.
And it is a steal of 1 for Team Brown, who now take a 9-4 lead heading into the 8th end. Yeah, I'm surprised by that, Julie. It looked from the screen here that you could see a good chunk of that rock.
Yeah, I liked the call. I liked the weight. I liked the throw. So maybe just got a little bit fooled in that spot, seeing quite a bit more curl. We saw both sweepers getting in on it, trying to hold that stone. So Bulls will be regrouping now, making a plan for making the most of this next hammer. And on sheet E between Ryan and Gushklak, seeing a lot of rocks in play again, Melissa, as has been the theme, particularly on the ends coming home here.
Which is great for us because we can see it clear.
It's my favorite.
Just in the other B quarterfinal, it is a 4-4 tie, De Jong versus Pierce, so a big battle out there right now. Steph Jackson Bear does steal 1, so they are now down 7-4 heading into the 8th end for them.
Back on our feature sheet, it looks like Team Bowls is looking to place a corner guard here.
A little tight, but it is a corner guard.
Right on top of the Scotties, if I'm not mistaken. One of my all-time favorite logos. Love all the logos who are out here supporting curling.
And you'll see all the logos out there, Julie, because that is our sheet for the final weekend. That's where all the women's playoffs will be, playoff games. And for the men, it will be on sheet D. So this is an interesting call, and I've seen Corinne Brown call this a number of times. They throw about a backline weight on from the wide outside, and what they try and do is they try and angle in that red guard and then roll off their shooter. And it's a way of getting rid of that corner guard right away. And if you throw enough weight that it does exactly that, it stops in the ring. So I love that call. And a great attempt there by Sam Fisher. Or should I say Sam Polomaya?
I love that call too. Yep. Credit where credit's due. I also love that call. What a great call. Very clever.
Don't see a lot of teams do it, but Team Brown is terrific at it. So a second corner guard going up here for Gabby Brissett, or sorry, Mara Harris, pardon me. Looks like they're maybe hitting their own out. Not liking the position of those blue stones in the 4 foot, so let's getting rid of one for sure.
Do you imagine they wanted to lose the shooter there as well, Melissa, or just spread them out a little bit? What do you imagine was the ideal call there?
I think they would have been okay not rolling towards the center, or sorry, the corner guards. They don't want to give the opportunity for that. I mean, that's just on the T line, so they don't want to give any freezes to their opposition. So I'm just taking a quick peek over sheet E here, our other feature sheet, Gushalak versus Ryan. Ryan line 4 right now without the hammer in the 8th end. They're kind of scattered all over the 8 foot area. So Jessie Sanderson throwing third stones, pardon me, for Team Gushalak is just throwing her stone now.
Does it look like she's being called to rearrange those blue rocks a little bit, Melissa, to give them something to work with? Or are they calling a straight freeze here?
I think they're playing a little bit of a tap, trying to get it in behind, but this one is over curling. And Team Bulls, unfortunately, backward. We're all over the place here, but just back to our feature sheet was a little bit heavy and slipped through the rings. So now it's peel time for Team Brown.
Erin Pincott working hard to hold this rock.
Trying to get this one right out. Sam Fisher is sweeping it right out if she can, or pretty much does the job there. Right out of the way.
A nice shot by Shannon Jonice on sheet E to remove that opposition rock and roll out, which I think was critical given how many rocks are building up there. There becomes a point where there's just too many of them, I think, Melissa. So I think it was a good move to roll out there.
Yeah, I totally agree. And now I think Jessie might be playing a hit here, try and open up the 4 foot scoring area. I mean, there's lots of room to draw. Another peel attempt here by Erin. Trying to get at least one of the corner guards. Great shot there. She almost slid to the far hog line.
Yes. Just having a little discussion here with their ice official, making sure that they're clear. It's such a benefit as a player to have those officials there supporting you, Melissa, to make sure that if you don't quite see what happens, the officials are happy to help you out and get the rocks back where they belong.
Exactly. I'm not sure another corner guard really is going to help you at this point. It is Meredith Cole's shots throwing third stone here. You could play the come around the corner. You could tap and roll off the blue one in the 8-foot. You could freeze on the center line side of the one on the button. There's a couple of options there.
Yeah, I like all of those options, but I agree with you that we're looking for some action in the rings at this point. I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Looked to me like the call might have been the straight draw, Melissa. Is that what it looked to you like?
I think so. I think she's drawing around the corner here. It'll be third shot, but that's okay. You know that Corinne's going to probably go up and try and peel the corner. And I think they're lucky they got the tick there because it was a little bit heavy.
Yeah, nice to see that rub helping them out a little bit, and looked like it might have just peeked out the other side of the corner guard. We're going to need to wait for Emily to move here to verify, but Corinne not hesitating and going straight up to peel that corner guard, as you predicted, Melissa.
And great job there by Erin. Another successful peel.
A deceptively critical shot here, Melissa. It looks like if Meredith is maybe going to hit this rock to try to bring her third shot into play. And so going to be a delicate little shot here of making sure we get the roll and keep that rock in play, would you say?
Yeah, I think that's what they're doing, and I would have been very tempted to corner freeze on one of those on the center line side so that if they made a play on it, it might bounce on the other one. It wasn't really a good roll opportunity there. She made it the best she could, so fantastic shot there. But chance here for Corinne Brown. She could play straight on the red one, I think, if she wanted to, or she could try and hit her own onto the red stone.
Does it look like there could be a tricky, cheeky little double there if she noses that? Does the blue redirect onto that red?
Good call, yeah. She hits half a rock on, or maybe 3/4 on the outside. I think it'll hit the one on the 4-foot and bounce over. And even if it doesn't, it'll be pretty close, right? It'll be close enough that. But if you hit 3/4 too, you might be able to save your shooter. So, yeah, I like this.
Yeah, it seems like kind of an exciting shot to try here. I think I'll be excited to see the outcome.
Yeah. Great call, Lee.
Feel free to use hashtag tricky, cheeky little shots here. We're attached to the BC men's scoring credentials.
Oh, I like that. So over on sheet E, just a quick peek. It looks like Kristen Ryan heading down for her last stone in the 8th. Team Gushalak is line 1 at the top, just butting the top of the 4-foot. So Kristen, I assume, just going to try and pick it out. Probably would like to retain her shooter in the rings, but not the end of the world if she doesn't. And here we go on our feature sheet. Here is Corinne Brown trying to hit just on the outside of this blue stone. And can she make the double? Oh, it just went under. Wow, so close. But I believe red is shot.
I think you're right, Melissa. I imagine Corinne might, even I might, just shaking my head a little bit, wondering if the angle was there in fact, because I thought it looked like they almost hit it where they wanted to.
I think so. I think they hit that pretty perfect, actually.
Yeah, it looked like it from this angle. So a bit of a gift for bowls.
So it is a chance to draw to the open side and lie 2 here for Team Bowls. And just a quick update on sheet E. Kristen Ryan does make her pick out of the red stone, so it is a draw for Diane Gushalak in the 8th and last stone here, drawing against 3. But those 3 stones wide open, huge scoring area here for Diane. She can hit anywhere in the 4-foot.
So I imagine on both sheets, we'd be having a discussion between the thrower and the sweepers about weight. These are both really critical draws. You know, I think I understand that around the eighth end, I think we're in. You may start to see some impact of the day and the games preceding you on the ice, and so some discussion, constructive discussion around weight, making sure we're throwing it to the sweepers.
Just back to our sheet, Meredith Cole actually went all the way down to the hack to have a conversation with Emily. I'm not 100% sure what that was about.
Still a lot of discussion at the hack end there, and meanwhile, it looks like Diane Gushalak made a beautiful draw.
Great shot, Diane, against 3. So it's 1 on the board for Team Gushalak. Now down only 1, 6-5 Team Ryan over Team Gushalak.
There continues to be a lot of discussion on our feature sheet here with Emily coming back down. I have to say I am a fan of the players coming down to speak with each other versus calling down the ice, but I confess to being a little bit surprised by the change in call. It looks like she's going to a freeze on the blue one. Is that what it looks like to you, Melissa?
Exactly. She's going to play the corner freeze on the blue. This is a potential. If Corinne ever misses or jams, there's a potential for maybe 3, and that's her thought process here. You can draw to the open side, and I should say that almost get your 2, guaranteed 2. However, if you corner freeze on the blue one, it has to be locked on. There is a chance that Corinne could actually hit it on the outside and maybe double your reds and you get none, because you don't never want to group your stones, but this is the only chance for a potential 3. Outside chance of a potential 3, and that was what the big discussion was about.
So Bulls maybe doing a little bit of an assessment of where we are in the game, how the rocks lay, and we'll see her sweepers going to work here.
Really trying to drag this. I think this one might be light, Julie. And indeed it is.
Of course, as a team, you're typically having a discussion with shots like that on the pro side miss. I imagine they were thinking that you didn't want to be too heavy and move that blue one around. So if anything, you wanted to err on the side of being maybe a hair light so that you'd protect your own red one, protecting that point that you're hoping will convert for you on the board.
The problem, of course, with that guard, it does give Corinne Brown a chance now to draw around it and be buried and shot stone. Or get shot stone, pardon me.
Are you surprised that Corinne's not chasing that red one at all, Melissa?
I think they had a quick look at it, and I'm guessing I assume they'd have to hit their blue onto red to get it. We can't really see how much you can see of the... Oh, it's wide open, I think, on the outside. I think Corinne is very, very comfortable with the 5-point lead right now, and if she does happen to give up 2, totally okay with that. If she happens to make this perfect and has a potential force of 1, she'd be overly happy about that. Again, Team Brown has been really putting their rocks in great places tonight and taking control here. And just another peach by Corinne Brown.
Yeah, just a really well-managed stone. The sweepers brushing, cleaning, brushing a bit, walking it right down to be shot, and really make things difficult for Emily and team.
So, does she have to play the double here on these 2 blue ones to actually get her 2? Or can she see a little piece of that blue stone on the board side here? Or does she have to run it back? And that's what maybe she's thinking right now, that she has to run the red guard back. Not an easy task here for Emily Bowles in this 8th end. Already down 5 points.
Yeah, it's hard to see how much space there is there on the right side of the rings, I guess, as you look at it, between that guard and those blue rocks. It looks to me, Melissa, like she's opting for the safe shot of drawing down to those rocks that she'd have as a bit of backing.
So is this for two, Julie? Do you think she can throw enough to get to the face of that blue and tap it for two?
Yeah, now that we can see those rocks on the right side, it does look like there's room for that blue rock to be tapped past the red. I confess I thought there was more of a angle there, an overlap, but
Tough shot here for Emily Bowles, but doing her best here to try and get two on the board.
looks like we're sweeping for curl.
Weight looks really great. And it is just one for Team Bowles, who pulled within four, and it looks like it is handshakes, Julie. So final score, Team Brown 9, Team Bowles 5. We're going to actually quickly cut out of this game. Give us a couple minutes, and we're going to come back and watch the end of Sheet E, Team Gushlock versus Team Ryan. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.